Okay, we're back. Happy New Year. I was thinking, okay, New Year's Dharma talk, right? What am I going to talk about? And then I thought, the word New Year's resolution came to mind. And then I thought, instead of having a New Year's resolution, what if for New Year's and into the coming year, you gained resolution? Right, so resolution is like, how sharp is something? How clearly can you see? And what if the goal was to refine your level of resolution, and when your resolution is not so good, to stop and wait until it comes back into focus? It's like, I don't know about you all, but like if I take off my glasses, I can't read like at all, right? The page is just blurry. So how can I understand what the page means if it's blurry? But like so much of our life is like this, that we make decisions and evaluations of ourselves and evaluations of others based on a blurry vision. And the reason for that is because our preconceptions, our conditioning, our ego, the stories that we tell about how things should be, all get in the way of having clear resolution when we look at a situation or a person. And so the antidote to that, according to Zen, is that we sit. And why do we sit, right? We sit to experience the absolute. We encounter the absence of any fixed thing, right? We return to the one. But that's available even as we walk through our life. And a lot of times I talk about what to do with other people in other situations. But it's also worth thinking about the fact that a lot of what we're studying when we meditate, we study the self. Right? That a lot of what comes up is us. Making little micro decisions all the time about who am I, what should I do, who should I be in this situation, how can I optimize that thing, and do we even see ourselves clearly? If all we did for the year was anytime we feel discomfort, stop, take a beat, look within, you'll have a radically different year than last year. Because that's kind of my job as a Zen teacher, right? Is to encourage you to sit and to explore what you find when you do it. There's probably a lot of things that we might want to have in less clear resolution too. I'll just drink a six-pack. I won't have any resolution problems. Not that there's anything wrong with drinking a six-pack necessarily, but my point is that we dull, we do all sorts of things to dull our focus, to dull our awareness. And it kind of makes sense, right? The more self-awareness you have, the more likely it is you're going to want to dull it, right? The more awareness because you're going to be aware of all your faults and flaws and issues. And the more awareness you have in general, the more you're going to be aware of challenges, pain, suffering, corruption, toxicity, right? And human brains are designed to look at danger first. And so what that means is that if you have a lot of awareness and intelligence, then you have a lot of negative information coming in all the time. It's usually coupled with anxiety and fear. And so, cool. That six-pack is sounding pretty good right about now, right? Or a bottle of wine, or smoke a joint, or, whatever your numbing behavior of choice is, right? And again, I'm not bagging on numbing behaviors. If someone wants to go watch some Netflix, fine. Like, go watch Netflix. It's okay. But that isn't, that is a temporary solution to a complex human problem, which is we develop our awareness and then we have to do something with it, right? So if our resolution is high, our awareness is high, our fear and anxiety can also be high. So the only thing that I've found that actually works with any longevity is to transcend the fixed self, right? To put it down. Just put it down. It's not seeing the challenging things in the world that's the issue. It's the story that we tell about it, the fear that we have about it, the futures that we create, right? Bad things are just bad things, right? Isn't it interesting that, like, if something bad happens right within your sphere, you know, like if I suddenly fall down with, like, if I suddenly grab my chest and fall over, no one's gonna have any anxiety about that. I promise you, you'll feel no anxiety. You will immediately, like, call 911, do chest compressions, like assess the situation, like you'll leap into action because there's something to be done, right? At least I hope you will. Maybe you'll just sit there and giggle. I'm kidding. No, but in all seriousness, when something bad happens right in front of you, you know what to do. But when something bad happens far away, in high resolution, that's where the fear and anxiety comes from, because now the only thing we can do to respond to it is generate stories about the past and the future and the world and all this stuff, all this complexity. And the thing is that fair enough, but it just comes back to what are you going to do right in front of you. So the other night, my wife and I decided we would spoil ourselves by ordering broken rice and sushi from a local restaurant. And I had to see a client, and so I was coming home, and we'd agreed that this is what we would do for dinner, and the DoorDash driver was in front of my garage, so I couldn't park. And so I pulled up and I rolled down the window. I was like, hey, could you just pull up a little bit? And she was like, sure, no problem. So she did. And when she did, I have these 99-cent, bought after Christmas a couple of years ago on 90% off sale, like plastic Christmas lights on sticks. Like, they don't light up. They're just like, they're shaped like a light bulb. And they stick in the ground, and I have them around the driveway. And she ran over one of them. You know, and I literally heard, like, first she's profusely apologizing for being in my way, and then she crushes one of my Christmas decorations under her very cool, like, she had an old Toyota pickup, like the kind from Back to the Future. And so I hear this, you know, crunch, and immediately I know what happened, but then I hear, you know, oh my God, damn it, oh no, like she's just freaking out. So I just go out, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's okay, it's okay. 99% off 2 years ago. Don't care. Thank you so much for bringing us this lovely dinner. Don't worry about it. You know, she looks visibly relieved. We go inside. And, you know, the point of the story, the point of sharing that is, like, we can be any of the characters in that story, right? So there's times when we run over people's Christmas lights. And there's times when we can choose to be magnanimous or to be petty. But if we're not resisting what is, like, it's too late for the light. It's gone. It's literally under the wheel. Like, looking down, it's under the tire. Like, that's over. That's decided, right? And so in life, this happens all the time, right? That things happen, and it's like, well, that situation is now under the wheel. So what's left? Well, there's a person in front of me. How would I like to relate to them? In a status of resistance to what is, right? With a story. You clumsy, I don't know. I don't want to get too toxic on the Dharma talk, but you get it. Which is what she was fully expecting, and fair enough. I imagine as a driver bringing food to lots of people that she gets yelled at a lot. I've worked retail. I used to get yelled at a lot too. So it's deceptively simple. It's like, wait, so the Zen teacher's message is don't yell at people who run over your Christmas lights? It's like, no, my message is people are going to run over your stuff. Life is going to happen. It's going to be hard sometimes. We're going to make mistakes. All we can do when we make mistakes is apologize, and all we can do when someone makes a mistake is forgive and support. Because everyone is functioning from the level of resolution at which they see the world. She couldn't see it. And frankly, my fault for not having the outdoor lights on. Right? Drive all blames into one. It's not her fault, it's my fault. Should have had the lights on, then she would have seen it. Right? But, nonetheless, her level of resolution in that moment was that she did not see that object and she drove over it. It's a strange thing when you think everyone is functioning with the best information that their mind and senses will give them. And nothing more or less. If we accept that, then we start meeting people where they are. And then we can help. And they may say, get away from me, I don't want your help. And fair enough, then don't help. So that's my recommended New Year's resolution for Zen Buddhists. Work on refining your resolution and accepting everyone else's where it is.